Over the past year and a half, Endowus has been where I invested my CPF OA money, and it's been a pretty good ride so far. But as of today, I'll be withdrawing all of my money with them. In this video, I'm going to show you three things: how much I've invested and how much I've actually made or lost in this past 18 months, what I'm invested in, and why am I saying goodbye to Endowus, at least for now. If you ever thought of investing your CPF OA or don't even know that you can actually do it, stick around. I'll share my experience so that you can actually make a better decision for yourself as well. Maybe by the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding why I invested my CPF OA money in the first place. Let's rewind back to May 2024. At that point in time, I had excess money in my CPF OA that I felt like I didn't need, especially because I'm not intending to buy a property anytime soon with that money. I felt like I had the risk appetite and the time horizon, and I'm not going to touch this money for at least a few years. And if I can grow it faster than 2.5%, which I am confident in, those extra gains can go towards paying off a bigger chunk of my future home down the road. If you're new to this, CPF actually allows you to invest anything above $20,000 in your OA. Of course, with everything, there are risks involved. If your investments don't perform as expected, you can potentially lose money. So before you even begin, ask yourself if you're actually confident in getting above 2.5%, or else it's much better to just leave the money in CPF OA. There is many instruments that you can actually invest your CPF money in, like ETFs, units trusts, stocks, bonds, and even T-bills. The variety is pretty extensive and can be confusing at first if you're trying to look at it. So what did I actually buy? I went ahead to buy the Amandi Prime USA Fund. It's a unit trust that tracks the US markets and behaves very similarly to that of the S&P 500. Reason why I chose this fund is because it has US market exposure, which historically has performed well over the long term, and it's also one of the lowest costs among CPF approved unit trusts. My strategy was pretty simple: investing in a market that I believed in, and as well keeping the costs low over an extended period of time. When determining what you should invest in, firstly ask yourself what's your risk tolerance and your time horizon. If you have a home coming up or you have no appetite for risk or losses, then this might not be the most suitable investment vehicle for you. Alright, let's get to what you're actually here for, the numbers. I started out with a $5,000 lump sum into the Amandi Prime USA Fund. After that, I set up a recurring $1,000 monthly investment through Endowus. Kept that going until just last month when I decided to stop it. My total invested capital was about $22,000, and the current portfolio value is about $25,500, roughly a $3,500 in gains, or about a 15.9% over the past 18 months. Now that I have just left the same $22,000 in CPF instead, that would probably get me about $22,500 with that 2.5% interest, a difference of almost $3,000 if you think about it. So from an investment perspective, I'm happy that this played out well, especially with how the US market has been performing over the past few years. So why am I actually leaving Endowus even though my performance has been great? Let me be clear, this is not a hate video. I actually enjoyed using their platform. The interface is straightforward, everything is easy to understand, and their emails notifications are always very clear and on point. And the reason is because due to their platform charges or platform fees, Endowus charges a 0.4% platform fees on top of the fees that the funds is charging you. As long as you're using their platform to invest your money, you will be incurring this fee or needing to pay. So if you're investing about $25,000, a 0.4% platform fee is about $100 per year. But as a consumer, I just found a better option, which is why I am shifting all my money to Poems instead, which has a 0% platform fee. You must be thinking, no fees, so good man, sure got some catch one, right? Well, they are actually using just this concept called a loss leader strategy. They use a certain product or feature to lure you into their platform, even though they make zero or little money on it. Think of it like the $5 chicken that you buy from the supermarket. Highly doubt that they actually make any profit on it, but you know that you're not walking out of the supermarket with just the chicken. Well, maybe some of you are, but most of the people are not. While you're there, you maybe grab some snacks, some drinks, some groceries, or maybe some other forms of things that you didn't plan to buy for. And that's where they actually make their profit. So in the case of Poems, when you start using their platforms to buy and sell stocks or other forms of investments, that's where they actually make their profit off of you. But with switching platform, it comes a real hassle as well. Now, I didn't make this decision easily. I actually considered this for months because moving CPF investments is pretty tedious. It's not like selling or buying a stock where it can be instantaneous. With unit trust and CPF investments, it actually takes a bit of time. When you sell on Endowus, it takes about 3 to 7 business days to settle. Then the money needs to go back to your CPF OA account. Then you place a new buy order on Poems, which will take another few days. So all in all, you're looking at about 8 to 10 business days, which will put you out of the market. The risk is that if the market goes up higher during this period, then you might lose out on potential gains. If the market drops, then you got lucky and now you're buying in back at a cheaper price. No way to time the market perfectly, and from what I have read, Endowus either charges a really high fee or completely doesn't allow you to direct transfer out of their platform, and so the buying and selling method is the only way that I am thinking of. So actually, let's talk about my other CPF investments as well. I have about $14,000 that I put in October 2023 with a local insurer, and it's roughly about $20,000 today, which is about a 45% gain. I'm actually thinking whether to surrender that policy and also move it to Poems, but I'm still deciding because there are a few factors at play here. The insurer doesn't charge me a platform fee as far as I know. Number two is that there are more diverse range and funds for me to choose from as compared to Endowus or Poems. And three is that I might just keep it there for diversification purposes. Returns have been pretty decent, but I have calculated that if I invested the money in, let's just say, the same Amandi Prime USA funds, my returns could be potentially higher. So once I've decided and gone through this process, I'll update you again on my CPF investments. So where do I actually stand now? Right now, I have about $36,000 of my CPF OA money invested across these two accounts. Over roughly 2 years, I've made about $9,500 in gains. That's about a 26% overall return, which I think is pretty decent, especially considering that CPF money, most people have it sitting inside at 2.5% returns. For me, this is my long-term funds, which I can use for my retirement or housing. I'll do a follow-up video once the switch of Poems is done, and I can fully see everything reflected in the account. When determining what you should invest in, firstly ask yourself again, what's your risk tolerance and your time horizon? If you have a home coming up or you have some form of loans and no risk appetite, please do not consider an investment that can potentially lose you money. If you're deciding between platforms or just starting out your CPF OA investment journey and you have any questions, drop them in the comments down below. I'll try my best to actually help you based on what I have learned so far. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.